all enjoy the class.
Awesome. Thank you, Felicia, and welcome everyone to some paper flowers. So we're going to be focusing on peonies and roses. And with just those two flowers, you can really put them together with lots of different sizes, lots of different colors, and make some fabulous backdrops, make some fabulous little centerpieces, or just some nice gifts. You can put it on top of a gift, put it on top of a present, just to have that extra little pop of color and something nice to give to someone. So we are going to be talking about Cricut today. I used a Cricut machine to be able to cut out all of the petals. In the majority of the class, we're going to spend time talking about how to assemble the flowers because cutting on Cricut is one thing. So if you're not very familiar, you might need to get a little more familiar with a Cricut machine before you start doing your cutting in your petals. But then once you have the petals, what do you do with them? How do you put them together and how do you make them into these beautiful flowers? So that is something that I'm going to help you with today. And like I said, we're going to be talking about peonies and we're going to be talking about roses. And I'm going to give you lots of different options so that whatever works best for you is what you can work on. So let's flip over to our other camera. And again, we're going to talk about these roses. And these larger roses are what I call two matte roses. So if you're familiar with Cricut, you put your mat into the machine and you let it do its job. And if you want to make bigger roses, it could take two mats. If you want to make roses even larger than some of the ones you see right here, then it's just going to take more time and more cutting on your machine, but you can make them as large as your machine allows. But we're going to be doing a two mat rose together, which is going to be this shape. But I also included in this class some links to a one mat rose, which is still a really pretty rose, but you can tell the difference right here. This purple one is a one mat rose, which means it's just going to be a little bit smaller because all the petals are able to fit on one Cricut mat, as opposed to the two mat rose right here, which is just going to be larger because it has more room for larger petals. I also have two different versions of the peonies. I have one of the peonies that fits onto an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So in the directions in the shopping list for today, I suggested some different paper choices. So if you have, there's a really cool set of paper by Recollections that is called Paper Flowers. And it has these really pretty deserty rose kind of colors. And it comes with this gold foil too. I love this gold foil because it makes for really fun insides for the peonies to have kind of like a little pop of color for your stamens. So I love this pack. It's an 8.5 by 11. So the roses don't necessarily fit on the 8.5 by 11, but I do have some peonies that are already properly sized for them to fit on this. If you want to work on peonies or any of the paper roses, I recommend a package of cardstock similar to this one. So it's a 65-pound cardstock, which means that it's pretty flimsy. Not flimsy. It's pretty flexible is what I should say. It's actually not that flimsy because it is cardstock, but it's a little bit more substantial than like your paper that goes into a printer. So it's cardstock. It's a little bit thicker, has a little bit more heft to it, but a 65-pound is good. If you start getting higher pounds than that, then it's a very, very stiff paper and it's going to be a little bit harder to mold into all these different flowers. So another thing to take a look at when you're looking at cardstock is a pack like this is thicker. And it's that kind of cardstock that is like almost woven, or it kind of has a texture when you feel it. So if you look at the side of your stack of cardstock and you can see white, that means that when you have your petals, the petals are also going to have white that shows up. So you want to try and find a cardstock like this pack I am showing right here, the 65-pound, that when you look at the side, all you see is color. You don't see any of that white in between, which means that the paper has been dyed all the way through. And so all of that dye goes all the way through the paper and you can't see any of the white base to the paper. So we have that. I am going to take a time real quickly to kind of walk you through if you're interested. If you're just watching, if you're not crafting along with me right now and you want to come back and watch this later, we'll have this video available for you on YouTube tomorrow. So I'm going to show you how to walk through finding Cricut this design, and you can find my name and you can find who I am and some of the different designs that I've used before. So I'm going to share my screen, and here is Design Space. So when you first open Cricut Design Space, this is the place where all of the different patterns and designs that the Cricut company has kind of curated into a large library. So there's a search bar up top. If you see my little cursor up here in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to type in my name, which is Meghan, Meghan.
Hey, Megan,
Sure.
hold on really quick because I am not seeing your screen. It just shows that you have shared your screen. So I'm just checking to find out does everyone
It
else.
says my screen is loading. I see it now. I'm going to try and stop sharing and share one more time and see if it works this time. Thanks for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Okay, share screen. And here is Design Space. I think it's showing now. Is that correct?
It is. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thanks for your help. So I'm showing in the top left-hand corner, I'm typing in my name, Meghan Fahey, Meghan Fahey, into the search bar. And then you're going to get some different projects that other Megans have done or have the word Meghan in them. And if you kind of arrow down and keep arrowing down to the bottom, you're going to see community members. And this is a picture of me with my glasses and my red hair. So this is Meghan Fahey. I'm going to click on me and you're going to see some different designs. So I have a class coming up on Friday with a friend, Kesley, and we are going to be doing some etching onto glass using our Cricut machine. So that's some designs for a different class. But I have these 4 different sections of the peonies. So these are the peonies that will fit onto the 8.5 by 11 paper. These are the peonies that will fit onto normal 12 by 12 cardstock. Here's a 1 matte rose and here's a 2 matte rose. So if you click on any of those 4 paper flower designs, you're going to see some of these different things. You can customize, but you're probably ready to just go ahead and make it. And then if you're familiar with the Cricut machine already and you've done some of this before, then you can tell that because I sized these petals, they will all fit on just 1 mat. So that's going to be a time saver because it's not going to take a lot of time to resize anything. It's ready to go. You just hit continue and you go ahead and cut that out on your 12 by 12 cardstock. In the same way, you can go to something like the 8.5 by 11 peony. And in this one, you'll be able to see that these designs will fit onto an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And so when I go ahead and change over here, my material size to 8.5 by 11, all of this will fit onto that 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And so you can cut out a whole mat of peonies or a whole mat of roses. And once you have all of your petals cut out, then we are ready to start our next assembly process. So when you're taking your petals, I'm actually going to do the peony first. So I've already kind of pre-cut some of these petals using my Cricut machine. And then once you have them in whatever colors you want, I kind of like to keep them separated in these little containers. So I know that the different petals go to different flowers. We are also going to be using a scraper tool. So it's one of the Cricut tools you can use. If you don't have a scraper tool, you can actually use a ruler or anything, like even the flat edge of a table, to do some of the things I'm going to show you with that make these flower petals a little bit more realistic. So with our peony, these are the things that came off of my mat. I have 2 of these large circles with petals. I have 2 of these medium size, and I have 2 of these smallers, and then we have the stamens. So I did the stamens in a different color, which means that technically this is 2 different mats because one mat had my purple paper on it and one mat had my gold paper on it. But you can use the same color, or you can cut out a couple of different colors and I could mix and match the stamens. So I could have a purple and a blue. And then if I make my blue flower, I can put a purple stamen in the center just to kind of play with those different colors. So once you have your petals cut out, again, for the peony, you have two of these, two large, two medium, two small, and two stamens. Here's how we are going to put these together. You're going to want a glue gun. So if you are playing along with me, you will definitely need to plug in your glue gun and get going. And if you want to watch this later and play along once you have everything cut out, that would be awesome too. So we're going to take our scraper tool and we're going to do a little bit of molding with the paper. And so what's nice about the 65-pound paper is that it is pretty flexible. And even like the oils in your hands, the natural oils in your hands can kind of really add to this paper to make it look a little bit more realistic and like an actual flower. So I'm going to be taking the scraper tool with the large petals, and I'm just going to be kind of like how you do with ribbon. I'm going to use my thumb and press my thumb and kind of roll that paper along my thumb. And I'm just kind of curling these different petals up towards the center by rolling them over my thumb and over my scraping tool. So I'm kind of taking all of these petals and turning them a little bit more towards the center. And if you have questions about this as I go, please let me know in the chat. So I have these two. And then when you have these medium petals, I've already done a little bit of this ahead of time, but what you want to do with these middle petals is you're going to glue this together to kind of make a little group of three. We're going to be stacking all of these different types of petals together. And when we stack them all together, we're going to end up with something that looks like this. So all those different levels, we kind of keep molding them and putting them into different directions to make them look a little bit more like actual petals than just pieces of paper. So with each one of these medium ones, basically I'm having a finger here and I'm kind of rolling the paper around my finger. So you can also do that using your scraper tool and using your thumb. And each one of these petals is going to kind of roll to each one of those two sides. And that's going to give you a nice petal that kind of your finger can tuck into. And when we put that together, that's going to give another nice layer to our peony. And then these ones I think are the funniest looking ones. And these are another group of three. And it has this little thing that has little hands almost. But what this does is when you curl this one, you can really make a tight circle with this to make the inside of the peony nice and tight. So these wrap up really nice and neat to kind of make like a little mouth or a little center of that actual flower, keeping that circle base here. So when you have each one of these small pieces, you're going to curl to the side and curl to the side for each one of the three. So I'm curling each of those to the side, kind of doing the same thing I did with the medium size and making it almost so that my finger can kind of fit in here and get wrapped around. And then these three pieces fold up, leaving that circle in the center in order to give us a really nice base to be able to put the stamens into. So at this point, I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to start attaching these together. So especially with this one, I'm going to put a little dot of glue onto this hand and I'm going to let these little pieces hold hands together. I'm going to put a little dot of glue and I'm going to let this hold. And I'm going to hold it in place for just a moment while the hot glue dries to keep that into a nice position. And then I'll do that third and final piece on this side. So a little bit of hot glue over here on the circle. And then I'm going to put that other circle on top of the circle and hold that there for just a moment to get a nice tight center ring. I am going to use the exact same method to make another one. And so I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to put a dot of glue onto each one of these circles. And I'm going to put the circles on top of the circles. And this time I'm making this one just a little bit wider because I am going to stack these inside of each other. So I'm trying to make this one a little bit wider when I'm connecting it together so that it fits. And then a little bit of glue and a little bit of glue. So at this point, we have all the petals cut from our Cricut machine, and we're just taking each one of these petals and using the scraper tool to kind of form them how we want. And then we are stacking these. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these two stamen pieces, and they're both circular, and one's just a slightly larger version of the other. And I love cutting these out on gold. I think they just look really sharp and really shiny. So these are pretty easy to assemble. I'm just going to put my finger right here, and I'm just going to kind of stick all of these petals up towards that center. And again, I'm going to stick my finger in the center of this and kind of pull everything up around it. So because this is the smaller one, I can put a little dot of glue into the larger one. And I'm going to match these tiny circles up to each other. And then I can scrunch this up, and you can have those two layers. And these two layers are going to fit inside of these two layers. So again, I'm going to put a dot of glue into this more base structure. And I'm going to try and offset the petals so that I don't match them up exactly. So you'll see that I kind of put this petal in between these two petals, and I'm holding that dot of glue to kind of attach those. Now I'm going to put a dot of glue into the center of this section. And I'm going to put those gold stamens in there. So this is what I have so far with a couple layers. And you'll remember that these are the two smalls and the two stamens. And then I have two mediums and I have two larges that we're going to assemble. So with the mediums, they have this lovely little tab on the design. So I'm going to put some glue on the tab, and I'm just going to hold this tab about right here to make those three petals come together in a circular form. So this design is an awesome design for these peony petals. And you'll see this little three-part in the center. And so that's me kind of overlapping them just a tad, letting that glue dry right here, and being able to have this set of three petals. Doing the same thing with these, putting a little dab of glue on the tab, connecting those together and holding them. And you'll see that it's almost like the letter Y. Can you see that? With all three of those pieces coming together. And then again, I want to try and offset these when I put them together. You don't want to line them up exactly the same because that doesn't really do anything for your peony. But if you kind of offset this just a little bit, then you'll have a little bit more volume to your flower. So at this point, I'm going to put some glue around here. And I'm going to attach this, offsetting those petals, and kind of keep that in place. And I have these two large pieces that I can put together, and I can roll these up and make these even tighter if I want to. So maybe one's kind of very loose and this next one is a little bit tighter to kind of start forming that peony shape. So again, I'm going to put some glue here, and then I'm going to attach here. And I have this lovely stack coming next. So a bit of glue here. And these medium size. And we only have one more step, as you can imagine, to put these in as the center. So if I put some glue on the bottom of the center piece, and I have assembled my first peony. So you can continue to play with the petals, and you can kind of roll them up in different ways or roll them towards the center a little bit more, and you can kind of play around with that. But having these peonies make for some really cool flowers. So this is actually the same size cut, but you can tell on this one, I put all the petals, I bunched them up closer to the center whereas this one's kind of later in the bloom where the blooms are going outward quite a bit. So it's fun to have different versions of exactly the same cut to really give you some variety, especially if you're going to put a bunch of these together next to each other. And so the color can change, the size can change, and you can adjust the designs that I've shown you to get bigger and smaller flowers to begin with too. But even with the same size cut, you can kind of play with how tight the centers are and how tight those little groups of 3 petals are in order to make lots of cute different sizes. But they're nice and shiny with that gold foil in there too. All right, so any questions so far, let me know in chat, but we are going to move on next to our paper roses. So these paper roses are absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to pull one off to show you. So this is what we're working with next. Has all these beautiful petals, all these beautiful layers. You can really play around again and make this a very tight rose. You can kind of push the petals out and to have it cover more space, but it's really beautiful. And just a little bit of that curling technique is going to help us again to make these different, more realistic petals. And the rose is just a tad bit more complicated than the peony because it has 2 extra pieces that we haven't seen yet. So when you use the 1 mat or the 2 mat for the paper roses, you're also going to get these 2 interesting sized pieces of paper. One of them has a bunch of slits in it. So I don't know if you can tell from this camera angle, but this one has a bunch of these different slits in it. And this one only has 2 slits in it. So this one is going to be the innermost portion of the rose. And then this one is going to wrap around that. And these little slits are what is actually going to help us put petals. So you can tell I just used one of my other Cricut tools to kind of open up that slit a little bit wider. And then I'm going to be able to stick a petal into there in order to really create that rose shape. So I'm going to put this one to the side for now, and I'm going to look at this one. And it is going to get rolled up to be the very center portion of the rose. So we're talking about this very center portion right here. So I'm going to use one of my tools, my scraper tool, to kind of use my thumb and my scraper tool to try and roll this and give it kind of a curve to it. And you can tell this design is really cool. It has this little piece that's going to insert into one of these slits. And then this piece is also going to wrap around and insert. So these 2 tabs are going to go into these 2 slits here in order to roll up a really cool inner portion of our paper rose. So I'm also going back to the top of this because I want these to kind of curve nicely also. And these just add some extra elements so it doesn't look so straight going across the center. So this tab is going to go into this slit. And that's starting to roll up. And then the rest of this is going to wrap around. And this tab is now going to go into the second spot right here. So I'm going to go ahead with this first one, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the tab so that when I insert it into this space, it'll stay. So I put the tab into that first slot. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right here. And I'm going to hold it against here. And then I'm going to keep rolling. And I'm going to put this tab into this next slit right here. So I'm going to put some hot glue on this slit as well. We'll see if I can do this without burning myself. I'm going to put this tab into this space. There we go. And there we go. So now I can kind of hold it like this as it's rolled up and let that glue kind of harden. And then we have that innermost bud part of our rose that's really going to let the rest kind of blossom out. We're going to come back to this next piece that has all of these different spaces in it to put the petals, because next we're going to focus on our rose petals. So when you use the papers that I'm using right now are creating a 2 mat rose. So this rose is going to be a bit larger than the one mat rose. So just to show you the difference in size, this purple one is a one mat rose, and this teal one is a blue mat, two mat rose. So this is obviously a lot larger because it takes two mats to cut, which is just a little bit more time than a very quick and easy one mat rose. So you can keep that in mind, depending on how much time you have to work on this project. And once you have the two mats cut, you have three sizes of petals. So there are what I call the large petals, there are medium petals, and there are small petals. So there's large, medium, and small. And there are 7 large petals. I've already curled some of them just to save some time today. And there are some medium petals. There are 3 medium petals. And then there are 5 small petals. So there are 5 of these. So your 2 mats will give you 7 large petals, 3 medium petals, and 5 small petals. And that number of, so it's 8 and 7, 15. There are 15 different spaces on this one that each of these petals can slip into in order to create that rose shape. So each of these are just going to kind of be inserted into these different spaces. And then we can play around with thinking about how those rose blooms are going to kind of peel away from the center and really make some beautiful roses. So each one of these, I took the time already to curl some of these and glue some of these petals together. But let me show you what I did with that. So I took the original large petal and I took my scraper tool. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to work with the paper and work with your scraper tool and your thumb again. And you're going to curl to each side. So you're going to curl each of these to the side. And then you're not quite done, because another thing that you're going to do here is you're going to take the tops of each of these and you're going to kind of roll the tops of these back. And what you're doing by doing that, by rolling the top and rolling to the side, is we're creating a petal that's kind of going to give a very interesting curve. So I'm going to show you from the side too, where it's going to pop out here, and then these petals are going to kind of curl over. And that's going to give you a really lovely rose petal that's going to kind of puddle over and out, so that rolling it this way back is really what helps make the petals go backwards instead of kind of standing straight up. It's giving you more of that movement of it blooming outward. So for each one of the large petals, I go to each of these sides and I curl these out. And I go to the tops and I curl the tops back. And then these 2 slits are really cool. The design of this paper flower is really awesome. You're going to put those 2 little legs on top of each other, and you're going to use a dab of hot glue there. And I'm going to hold this here for just a moment, having those 2 pieces on top of each other. And that's creating that really nice stem for me to stick into that center piece to place all my different petals. So the process of taking one of the large petals, and you use your scraper tool and your thumb to curl the petal out to each one of the 2 sides. So I curled to that side, I curled to this side, and then taking that extra bit of time to go back to the top and kind of curling the tops backwards to let that cool rose petal shape. And you can tell that the more I play around with it, the more it kind of, the paper becomes a little bit more pliable, and it just starts looking more like a real petal rather than just a flat piece of paper. So you can play around with this as long as you have time. But then you're going to take these 2 legs and you're going to put a little dab of glue again. And I do recommend hot glue instead of a regular white glue, just because it's going to slow you down to wait. the hot glue is going to dry so quickly that you're going to be able to move on to the next step really quickly. So I have this nice petal, and I have these curled backwards, and I have these sides curled outward. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 large petals ready to go. And I'll put those to the side. And then I'm going to look at my 3 medium-sized petals. And this is how they come. I kind of left this one because I want to show you that while I was curling, I accidentally ripped this one a little bit. And that can happen from time to time. But it would be okay to just take a little piece of clear tape or take a little bit of glue and just kind of put that back together. It will be hidden into the rest of your flower, so I don't think anyone will even really notice. I'm just going to put just a little dab of glue to kind of reconnect that. But it's okay. It happens if you have a little cut. And remember that in nature, petals have different cuts. Different things happen to flowers in real life too. So that is okay. I also want to mention that Felicia, I don't know if you know, has a very good green thumb. Do not have a green thumb, but I have a paper thumb that can take care of these paper flowers and really keep these paper flowers going. So I can't keep live flowers, that is for sure. That is not my gift, but I can definitely keep working with paper and turn those into flowers. So I'm
You're too
taking
kind.
it's true, Felicia. I can't do what you do, but I can definitely do some paper and I can take care of that and keep it alive. So I'm taking each one of these petals and I'm kind of rolling these to the side. And I'm basically doing the same technique that I just did with the large ones. So not only am I going to roll them to the side, but I am going to pay attention to the top also and kind of roll the top back. And then I will do the same thing where I kind of stack these on top of each other with a little bit of glue. And look at the nice curve on that. You can kind of see that S shape, that what happened when I curled those backwards gave me that nice petal shape. And then it comes out and it comes back in. So I will put some hot glue down here and I will attach these two together. And I will do the same over here, where I have bent these to the back, or to the sides rather. And like I said before, if you don't have one of those Cricut tools, you can use a ruler. So anything that you have that straight edge to, you just need to be able to bend the paper over that without making a crease. You want to be able to kind of roll it off of the edge. You can even use the side of a table and do the same thing that I'm doing with either of these tools. So whatever tools you happen to have laying around, I bet you can make it work for you. And then I'm going to stack these two legs on top of each other with some glue. And I'm going to be ready for these medium-sized petals. There are 3 medium-sized petals. This is the one that I had that little rip. And again, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. But I am going to be gentle with it this time around when I kind of roll the sides, now that I've learned a lesson. And I'm going to stack these two on top of each other with my hot glue. I'm going to hold this, kind of let it set. 3 medium petals. And then I have my 5 small petals. So I've already done a couple of them. And I'm going to show you what I did with these. It is the same technique over and over again with all these rose petals. It's rolling out to the side and then rolling the top backwards. So I'm rolling out to the side and I'm rolling the top backwards. And I'm stacking those 2 legs on top of each other with some glue. And after I have these 2 glued, I have all of the petals I need to make a really beautiful 2 mat rose. And for your 2 mat rose, or for any of your roses, I do recommend also having Another Cricut tool, if you don't have this particular weeding tool, you can use a thumbtack. You can probably use a paper clip. You can use a lot of different things, but you want this tool to be able to kind of poke through paper a little bit. So if you have something that has a little bit of a sharper tip to it, that would be ideal. You could probably use a pencil, but I wouldn't want you to mess up your design with extra pencil lines. So we will take this weeding tool or thumbtack or anything that you have, and I'm going to kind of go through and sort of enhance these lines so that I can see them. So I'm just poking through this paper and just kind of going over the lines that are already there. And enhancing them so that I can definitely see them and make sure that they're all cut through or perforated enough. So make sure your machine went through and was able to grab all of those. And I think if I count these, I think I should end up with 15. So let me take a second and do that. 13, 14, 15, perfect. And then there is one slit going in this direction, and we have one tab like we did on the other piece. So the way that we're going to assemble this one is we're going to roll it up in a similar way to what we did before. The side that doesn't have the tab is going to be inside. And then we're going to put the tab into this space on the side. So before we do that, like with everything else we've been doing so far, I want to kind of take a moment with the scraper tool to curl it and get it so that it is ready to be rolled up and that it looks a little bit more realistic and less stiff or less straight, like a flat piece of paper. We want it to be a nice curve to resemble what kind of this flower would actually look like. So I'm taking the scraper tool and going along carefully and kind of rolling it. And then I am also going to take these tips and kind of go backwards with them a little bit too, like I did with all of the other petals, so that even when I roll it up, it's still giving that coming outward kind of situation. So I'm going to roll some of the tops of these just to give them that same petal look that I've been giving everything else. And then when I roll this up, here's the side that has the tab, and here's the side that doesn't have the tab. So the side that doesn't have the tab rolls in first. And then the side that does have the tab is going to go through here. And you're going to want some hot glue in order to keep that. So I'm going to put some hot glue on top of this tab, and I'm going to slide it back in there. And I'm going to hold it in place for a moment to make sure that I've done a good job of attaching that glue and keeping that in place. So I'm going to hold this for a moment. And then you can see that those pieces that I had kind of shown you, now that it has another piece of paper rolled up inside, they've kind of been covered again. So we want to make sure that we have access to all those spaces so that we can stick petals in. So while this glue is drying, I'm also kind of tightening the roll of the most inside roll that I did. So I'm taking this little roll of paper and I'm kind of tightening that roll inside a little bit more. And why I'm doing that or how I'm doing that is to be able to give you some breathing space with each one of these spaces so that I can stick the petal through and it won't go directly into the paper that's kind of guarding the inside of this roll. That's what I'm doing here. All right, I think we're ready to start placing petals. So there is kind of a system to the madness, but you can be a little bit more sporadic than what I'm going to be doing. Basically, you have 15 spots and you have 15 petals. So you can kind of put them in whatever spots you want them to go into. But my recommendation is that you start with the smallest petals and you start with the top layer. I'm going to call this the top and I'm going to call this part the bottom. So you're going to use your 5 petals and you're going to go into different slits in order to place those 5 small petals around. Then you're going to go to like this next row in the center because there's kind of about, it's a little iffy, but there's about 3 different levels. So you'll try and put those 3 medium ones in the center, and then you'll try and put the larger petals at the bottom so that they have that really dramatic burst out. So I'm going to start with the small petals, and the goal is to put these little tabs into each one of these spaces. And you just want to make sure that you add some hot glue so that you can keep these in the right places. So here is the curve. It's kind of like a cup. I flipped it over. I put some glue in, and I'm going to find one of the top spaces, and I am going to slide this in. And it is okay if you have a little puddle of glue. That is not a problem. It will disappear into all the petals and you'll never notice. So then I'm going to take another small petal, and I'm going to take another one of these small spaces, and I'm going to put some hot glue on my petal, and I'm going to try and slide that petal in. And sometimes sliding these petals in is easier than other times. So you might need to use your scraper tool to kind of open that space to have it ready to be slid in. But that did pretty well. I'm going to take another one of these kind of top row and slide in another petal. So I'm putting some glue on the back of this. And I'm going to slide this petal into this top row. And it looks like this one I forgot to actually connect. So I do want to go ahead and do that. And line these legs up together. And you can tell that when you're putting your petals, when you're assembling them, it's important to have those legs lined up together into that one line, because that one line is what's going to slide into the different sections for your petal. So here is a 1/4 of the small size petals that I'm sliding into this space. And I'm going to slide one more small petal over here, and I'm going to switch to my medium. So check out what we're doing so far. It's looking really lovely. I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the back of here and slide it in. And again, it's okay if you have a little extra puddle of glue because I will hide that. And so far I have a really nice shape. Don't worry about the center being open because remember we rolled up another piece and that other tighter piece is going to still go inside of there. So don't worry too much about that yet. I'm going to go to the next layer and I'm going to put 3 of the medium size in. So I'm going to make sure that this space is ready for it. I'm going to put some glue on the back of the medium size. And I'm going to slide the medium size into that space. There we go. Do the same thing. And this is something that I could easily do while I'm watching some of my shows, just enjoying spending some time crafting. Just get into the zone and enjoy it. One more of these medium size. Actually, I might even put it up here. And then I'm ready for my 7 large petals. So if you have any questions for me about these particular paper flowers or any of the other things, please let me know in the chat. Felicia's been doing a great job of adding in some things to let you know. I have a class tomorrow on polymer jewelry. If you want to learn some more about clay jewelry and polymer jewelry, I can show you some tips and tricks on how to make those. And then also tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, I have a Mother's Day etch and sip class where we're going to use the Cricut to etch glass using this really cool product, like a paste that you put on and wipe back off. And we're also going to talk about some mocktails and some edible glitter to really spice things up and make for a very sparkly drink. So you can join us tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. And there's lots of these videos already on YouTube. So if you missed one of the classes, you can always catch it on the replay. And I am just taking each one of these 7 large petals and finding any of the remaining spaces that still need a petal in them and trying my best, put the glue on the wrong side that time, to slide these in. And if you are having a hard time, especially towards the bottom, because you're starting to build up from the other layers of petals, so if you need to kind of reopen that space with your tool, you can do that. And yeah, if you end up making this, I would love to see what you're making. And if you don't mind sharing, if you're on Instagram, you can tag us at Learn with Michaels, and we would love to see what you're doing, and we can reshare it and show everybody what you're doing if you want us to. And you can also check out all the different upcoming online classes on Learn with Michaels. So this is turning out beautifully. I love how it just keeps growing, and I still have a couple more petals to fill in. And I'm using that same process over and over again. And if you want to make these petals even larger, it might take like 10 mats, but if you have the time to cut out 10 mats, you can make a very large, very cool flower. So there's lots of things to do. And you can also take a look on Instagram at my own personal station, which is channel, which is 4M Coleman. You can see some of the paper crafts I've done. I love paper crafts. You can also see some of the other things I've done recently, like I've been dabbling in candle making. So we had a really cool candle making class last week where you can see some new molds and some new types of things to do in terms of candle making. There's always some different jewelry that I'm working on. I just love dabbling. We are so close. Here we go. And I have just one more petal left. And that last piece is going to go right here where it kind of rolls together. There's like a half of the slit and the other half of the slit is right here. And that's where that last petal is going to fit. So let me get that spot ready. And here comes the last petal. Right through here. And it is okay if you have kind of a jumble of paper on the bottom. That is okay, don't worry about that. I can show you some things to do with that. But here's that last petal. And here's what we have so far. Look how beautiful that is. Really just fills up my whole entire hands. And then I do still have this centerpiece. And this centerpiece is going to help some of that empty space in the middle. But there is still going to be one more thing we can do at the end to really fill that center space. But I'm going to go ahead and put some all around this because this is going into the very center of my paper rose. And I'm going to put this into the center and kind of position it so that this tallest petal is kind of going in the opposite direction of the petals that are already there. And you can keep playing around with all of these petals and you can decide if you want them to be tighter or if you want them to be looser and how you want those petals to kind of go. But if you do still see a little bit of white space, you can kind of see a little bit of white space through there. One other suggestion I have for you is to take a piece of paper that's the same color or close to it. So I have a spare kind of scrap piece of paper, and you can kind of wrap the bottom of it with that scrap piece of paper. And then that can help you from seeing any of the white space through here. So no one's really going to pay too much attention to the back of your flower, especially depending on what you're doing with it. But even if I just take a little scrap piece of paper and kind of hot glue it over that circle, that's going to kind of keep all those tabs in place and also give me some coverage so that I don't have any of the gaps. And then we have officially made our beautiful paper rose, and we have made a beautiful paper peony. And we can put the paper roses and the paper peonies together with lots of different colors, lots of different sizes. And you will see this arrangement I've made. So what I did to kind of make more of like a backdrop is I actually took, this is funny to see the behind the scenes, but I took like the lid of a computer paper box. And then what I did was with an X-Acto knife, I cut an X through and then I pushed the X through. And that's how I started placing these onto this paper. So like this new rose that we just created together, if you cut a little X-Acto knife X through and push it, then you have a new space for you to put one of your roses. And then maybe over here in this blank space, I can put this peony, and I can have a nice dark purple peony right next to a light purple peony. And I can really just play with filling that space. So the way that I made this backdrop was just by basically cutting X's with an X-Acto knife and pushing those through, and then gluing. The roses do have a little bit of a tab at the bottom, so that's what I pushed through. But the peonies, you don't really need to cut holes for. You can kind of just lay down some hot glue and you can get those peonies sitting in different positions. And then play around with your placement, see what you like. But it's really lovely to have this nice assortment of all these different peonies and all these different roses. So this brings us to the end. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer any of those questions before we go. But thank you for joining us today. This has been really fun. These are great gifts. These are great ways to top off presents or just to give to someone as a nice, hey, I'm thinking about you kind of thing. So thanks for joining us.
Hey, there is one question that came in to me directly
Sure.
asking, do they have to purchase the machine? And if so, which one did you say? I don't think you mentioned it, but just in case which machine are
Great
you
question.
using?
So it's if you want to invest in one of the cutting machines, the one that I used today was the Cricut machine. And so Cricut Design Space is where I have these particular patterns for you to use and follow. You might need Access, which is Cricut's subscription, to get more of the images. There are plenty of free paper flowers available in their library, but the ones that I used in particular may cost a small amount of money for the subscription fee. And I used a Cricut Explore 2, but any of the Cricuts, you could even do it with a Cricut Joy, which is the smallest of the Cricuts. And you'll just keep in mind that you're going to do, I think, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. That mat will probably go through your Cricut Joy if you want to cut some of the small peonies. And then if you have something called the Cricut Venture, which is the brand new super large machine, that's when you can make like the flowers that are bigger than my head, because you can cut out these huge petals on that huge machine. So I used a Cricut Explore 2 for today's project, but you can use any of the cutting machines to use that pattern.
So let me add to what you just said, only because there was another question that came in to me
Sure.
directly as well. Um, you do not need a cutting machine if you choose not to. However, it will take you a lot of time. So the main thing would be is to find you a pattern. And once you have your pattern, you can cut out the petals individually and go from there.
Yeah.
And basically
So
use the same step.
exactly. So if you want to cut a lot of these out by yourself with scissors, you absolutely can. Just trace them, put them down, and do it. It will take you a lot more time than if you have one of these machines. So that's the beauty of these new cutting machines, is that they can really take some of these projects to the next level and save you a lot of time too. All right. I think that's it, Felicia.
I
Anything else?
agree. I don't have any additional questions that has come into me directly. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I just want to reiterate that Megan does have some additional classes on tomorrow. So yes, she's teaching two classes tomorrow. Um,
Why not?
one is at 11 a.m. Central Time. So I want to make sure I stress it Central Time. and the other class is at 3 o'clock Central Time. So definitely come out and join us. I will be your host again. So
Mm,
please come out and have fun with us.
absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you later.